Why don't we go in chronological order? You mentioned
Okay.
the Friday night game. This one was taking place in Norman, Oklahoma. It was the number 8 seed Oklahoma playing host to the number 9 seed Alabama. It was a rematch of a game that took place about a month ago. Remember, Oklahoma won that one by a 23-21 final.
Yes.
So, I was among the chorus of people out on X, the Everything app, who posted about the early demise of Alabama when they went down 17-zip.
Oh, that was you? Oh, yeah. I knew I wasn't going to say anything. There's no winning with those maniacs. Yeah.
I was one of them. I did not age well. And as the second half was going down, I am just praying to the Lord above that our friend Freezing Cold Takes does not highlight my early tweet.
Here, can I tell you also why I wasn't trying to dance on Alabama in that moment? Oklahoma has exclusively scored between like 17 and 25 points this season, especially against quality defenses. And they scored 17 of those points pretty quickly. So I was like, look, maybe it's a different kind of night and they're scoring 45, but it's still against the Alabama defense.
It's still against the Alabama defense.
And so I was like, I am not. Look, I'm prepared for Oklahoma to win this game, but at that moment I was like, okay, I could see Oklahoma winning this game 23-22, and holding on for dear life. But no, I wasn't in your headspace, but I appreciate that we're all different snowflakes here.
I jumped the gun.
Yeah.
Though that account didn't zing me, many others did. In my defense, I did pick Alabama beforehand to win the game.
Right.
You may recall. Only one member of this broadcasting dynamic duo did, and it was me, yours truly.
Yeah.
And secondly, there weren't a whole lot of people out there who were posting the counter argument like, oh yeah, Alabama, they got them right where they want them. I didn't see any of that out there. So the observation wasn't wrong. I think everybody had the same observation, albeit mine might have been a little bit more public,
right,
and a little bit too soon, but I deserved to take the medicine, and I did.
Okay, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about what transpired between the sidelines.
I think a couple things are true at once.
Yeah.
We would agree that Alabama got off to a terrible start, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
We would agree that after that terrible start, the manner in which Alabama came back, went on a 34-7 run the remainder of the game, and just dominated Oklahoma through and through. Yeah. We would agree that they deserve all the flowers for that, yes?
Oh, yeah. It was a terrific regrouping from Alabama and figuring out, look, the difference in this game, in this 10-point spread between these two teams. I mean, look, there was a lot of differences after the 17-0 start, but you had the sort of horrible punt situation that I guess Alabama sort of fell into a blocked punt and got a field goal out of that, I believe, on that short field. And they baited, I think it was, which corner was it? It wasn't Domani Jackson, but corner for Alabama baited John Mateer into a pick six, and there's your 10 points. And it was terrific.
It was a turnabout fair play, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because if we think back to that first matchup, what did we talk about? Oklahoma got 17 points off of Alabama mistakes.
Yes.
And
Xavier Brown, by the way. Yeah.
Xavier Brown. This time around, it was Alabama that was able to take advantage of those mistakes. So they go down 17-0. We can debate whether or not we think Oklahoma is any good. That's a conversation for another day. But Oklahoma was up. And yes. Oklahoma's got a good defense. And in theory, it wouldn't have taken much more to fully put Alabama out of their misery at that point in time.
Right.
So Bama on the road at night, 83,000 screaming fans against a good defense. It could have gone sideways. The fact that they managed to turn things around, to recapture momentum and go on that kind of a run, I thought was a damn good effort from the top on down, from Kalen DeBoer right on through the starting roster. Because like early on, they couldn't pressure John Mateer. And they were talking about it on the broadcast, but then they changed. Mm-hmm. They made some adjustments. They come away with 5 sacks. Early on, they were showing the up-close visual of Ty Simpson's eyes and his feet, and everything seemed out of whack, like he was seeing ghosts. And then he calmed down.
Correct.
And he got better. And so I think we can't start this conversation in earnest without paying homage to the job that Alabama did here.
Well, this is, by the way, this
was a good showing for me.
This is also umbrella before kickoff of like Michigan is convinced that it can make a run at Kalen DeBoer pending what's happening in this game to whatever veracity. But that is, being reported by Pete Thamel before kickoff that this game has implications for the Michigan coaching search potentially if Kalen DeBoer and Alabama aren't able to go on the road and come away with a win, that they feel confident that Alabama's not going to be super keen on then heaping a huge extension, a new deal on Kalen DeBoer losing in the first round, especially after losing in the manner that they did to Georgia in the SEC championship game. So like that is sort of hovering over this game as well going into it. And Alabama looked tight. Ty Simpson looked tight. The protection wasn't there. They couldn't figure out nobody's been able to figure out the Oklahoma pass rush this year because it's been excellent and overwhelming 95% of the time. This is obviously an Oklahoma team led by its defense. But you're right. They calmed down. They hit plays down the field. I think it was Latsier Brooks was a catalyst for this team. We mentioned the pick six and that quick field goal, which like Alabama hadn't done anything really in the first half consistently, but it was 17 all at the half, correct?
17 all at the half. So and that brings me sort of, I think, to the other side of this.
Yes.
Because I don't think we can earnestly talk about Alabama beating Oklahoma without at least talking a little bit about Oklahoma beating itself. Because this was a big part of the game too, and you've alluded to it a couple times over. I am not saying this is the only reason why Alabama won.
Right.
Okay. I thought what Alabama did to come in to recapture the momentum and kind of turn the tide, a little pun, I thought that was outstanding.
Yeah.
And absolutely a good way to start off this playoff run. So kudos to them. Alabama did get some breaks in this one, just the way that Oklahoma did the first time around. You mentioned the punter dropped the punt.
Mm-hmm.
Not even blocked, just dropped it. They fell on it.
Yeah.
They turned that into points. There was also the pick six, which you mentioned earlier, right out of my college football 26 dynasty. I throw that pass. I have seen that go back for six. That was a bad decision by John Mateer. The other one that you didn't mention,
please,
was a play, I think about 4:30 left in the first half. Mateer evades a pass rush, makes a nice move to get away from a defender, rolls out to his left, throws kind of back across his body down the field. Xavier Robinson's wide open. Yeah. May not have been a perfect pass, but it was blown coverage. If he catches it, it's a walk-in touchdown, but he drops it.
Yeah.
Those three plays, in my mind, were the ones that flipped everything.
You're right. And there were both ways. There was the Jeremy Bernard in the second half, wide open drop. Yep. There was the overthrow early on from John Mateer. Like the passing game, and I sort of half attribute this to just the time off. Oklahoma's been off obviously longer than Alabama, but as well as it seemed Oklahoma was playing, man, watching John Mateer when he knew it was a pass, when it was an obvious passing situation, or he knew he had to go through progressions, it was very rare, if ever, where he dropped back and didn't spaz out a little bit. I'm trying to think of a better word for the discomfort that he seemed to feel in the pocket. And obviously, leader and playmaker and rolls out and improvises and is a sensational runner, obviously, with the ball in his hand. But there is something about the calm nature of excellent quarterbacks that I don't think John Mateer possesses, at least not in the bigger games that Oklahoma has played. And I don't know if that's a design thing. I don't know if that's a teaching thing, but the number of plays where he dropped back and calmly and in a rhythm stepped into the pocket and threw the ball confidently down the field. If that happened twice, I think I may have missed it, right? That there was something a little bbit too spastic for me to feel comfortable. And that's how you get to, score, however many points per drive that Oklahoma's ending up, in the 80s this season. And so for them to get this far with this lack of confident offense, I think is pretty impressive. Continue.
Yeah, I mean, the best of John Mateer is really exciting, but I would say on the whole, what I saw from him in this game is something that we have seen from time to time throughout the course of the year. And that is there's also a lot of dude perfect in his passing game, sure. Where he's changing arm angles and he's doing some sort of weird stuff. He threw a couple fadeaway passes in this game where he's not like driving his momentum through. So mechanically, there's I think some rough edges there. I'm not a quarterback coach nor a quarterback expert. I just play one on the podcast, but watched enough football to know what usually works and what usually doesn't. And definitely some moments watching Mateer. All that being said, it's not been a great Oklahoma offense this year.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't the worst showing that I have seen from the Oklahoma offense.
No,
very Mateer dependent.
Yeah,
but the best of him is really good. We saw some really good, incredible catch by Deion Burks on the sidelines. They didn't really get Isaiah Satania going. He did have a touchdown, but only like 2 for 17 on 6 targets. So that was one guy we were watching because he's been such a big play threat for this Oklahoma offense. I didn't think the Oklahoma offense was bad, but the Alabama defense just did such a good job forcing third downs. I think I saw something like Oklahoma had 14 total drives and 18 third down attempts.
Right.
They went something like 7 of 8 on third down. So even that wasn't horrible, but the Alabama defense just did a really good job forcing them to get to that third down scenario. And as we'll talk about here in the next game, when we get to Miami, Texas A&M, just forcing those third downs puts your defense and your team in a position to win field position, to win time of possession, to get some points on the board. So that was a very key element to the way that Alabama attacked this offense, mostly in the second half of this game.
Well, but also should mention, Alabama's pass rush has not been excellent this year. They kind of got that going in the second half of this.
They did. They
really seemed to, rotating multiple guys off of edges, playing some pass rush games. They really started getting to Mateer and disrupting an Oklahoma offensive line that at best was probably up and down this season, obviously improved. But in terms of like what this Oklahoma offense wants to do, dropping John Mateer back and going through progressions and getting to 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 9s, Alabama had Oklahoma exactly where they wanted to be. And you could see that comfort and aggression from Alabama up front without having to send extra dudes, right? They were getting pressure with just the guys on the line, and it really seemed to rattle Oklahoma. And by the way, Tate Sandel's incredible. He's an incredible kicker. He won the Groza, did he not?
Yes.
Windy night, Friday night in Norman, obviously. Oklahoma had shots at the end of this game. I'm not putting it on him because this offense wasn't performing in the second half. I actually appreciated when they were going for those field goals. They miss a short field goal that goes sort of above, I think it was a 36-yarder or so, that goes above and slightly to the left of one of the uprights. And the whole stadium was in shock because he missed a field goal. Gets the ball back, still down 10. Oklahoma gets the ball back, goes for something from like 50 some odd yards.
Yeah, it comes up short.
And it comes up short. The wind sort of.
By the way, are we sure he missed that field goal?
I don't think there was anywhere near enough evidence, right? That like the refs are staring straight up the upright. I didn't see enough evidence to be like, oh, that was definitely fully inside, right? That's the rule.
Yeah.
The ball has to be fully inside. And I don't think there was enough evidence to really examine that.
Why can't they just make the uprights bigger?
How big, Ty? How big? I think there's physics involved. And when I tell you I got a B- in physics in high school, Ty,
all right,
your boy Dan got a B- in physics. But yes, continue.
Fair enough. Your final score here was 34-24 in favor of Oklahoma.
Yeah.
It was not the prettiest showing by any stretch of the imagination, but I do think they showed a lot of toughness. This is a hostile setting. These Friday games, I mean, we saw it last year with Notre Dame and Indiana.
Yeah.
It's a very loud, very raucous environment to kick off the playoff, the first round of the playoff, and to go into another stadium and win a game like that in that Friday night primetime setting. I look, you got to give them credit. You absolutely have to give them credit. It was a great season for Oklahoma. Alabama moves on now to play in the Rose Bowl on New Year's Day at 4 p.m. Eastern time. It changed the start time. Indiana is a 7-point favorite at time of recording. I have seen that juggle around a little bit. I saw it dip to 6.5. We'll have to monitor over the next 10 days, whatever it is, see if that line moves at all. We will be doing our playoff preview for the quarterfinals. That drops next Sunday. So we've got some time to like sit and digest and think about all this game, all these action, all this game action, excuse me.
Yeah.
But also react to whatever point spread it ends up being when we record at the end of the week. So, we'll have a time and place to talk about that game. It is certainly intriguing on about 1,000 different levels, but I think it's a really exciting matchup. I'm really excited to see what that one looks like. It's a big deal for both these teams.
And by the way, Kurt Signetti, former Bama coach, Kalen DeBoer, former Indiana coach.
I know. So I'm saying, man, a lot of connective tissue.
A lot of connective tissue. And just to put a bow on it, Ty, I regret nothing I said about Alabama and getting into this tournament, this invitational, this TV show. I retract nothing. I regret nothing. The ends don't justify the means. Alabama was better than Oklahoma in Tuscaloosa. They were better than Oklahoma here. They proved it and they won. And it's good for Alabama. And it was a sensational showing, but the ends do not justify the means. It is a farce that they're in this TV show. How about that?
I'm not even going there anymore.
You should.
No, listen, I'm over it.
Don't be scared of internet weenies, Ty. Come on.
I'm not scared of internet weenies.
It sounds like you are.
I'm not. I'm a broken man. Okay. I'm broken, and I am taking this game in a vacuum. I thought Alabama came back impressively so. I don't know what that means for the future of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Either in 2026 or just here in 2025. But a win's a win, and 34-24. You will take that on the road at night again. 83,550 was the official attendance.
Oh, man. And Oklahoma lost to a sponsor's exemption. Continue.
Settle. All right.